Question. Which statement applies to all driving emergency situations? Option number 1. Always slow down gradually. Option number 2. Your first reaction is the best reaction. Option number 3. Think before you act. Option number 4. Apply your brakes immediately. The answer is option number 3. Think before you act. Note. The single most important rule in any emergency is do not panic. You have a better chance of handling the emergency safely if you do not let fear take over. In most emergencies, you will have a second or two to think before you act. Question. When you drive in heavy fog during daylight hours, you should drive with your option number 1. Headlights off. Option number 2. Parking lights on. Option number 3. Headlights on low beam. Option number 4. Headlights on high beam. The answer is option number 3. Headlights on low beam. Note. High headlight beams reflect off rain, fog and falling snow. This makes it even harder for you to see where you are going. For better visibility during these weather conditions, keep your vehicle's headlights on low beam. Question. A blind person legally has the right of way when crossing the street when he is option number 1. Held by another person. Option number 2. Led by a guide dog or using a white or metallic cane. Option number 3. Wearing reflective clothing. Option number 4. Wearing dark colored glasses. The answer is option number 2. Led by a guide dog or using a white or metallic cane. Note. There is a special right of way law for blind pedestrians crossing the road with a guide dog or a white or metallic cane. You must always give them the right of way. Question. What should you do when you are going to enter a roadway from a private road? Option 1. Blow your horn to warn cars you are entering the roadway. Option 2. Stop with part of your car on the roadway to alert other drivers. Option 3. Drive out fast to merge smoothly with the traffic. Option 4. Yield the right of way to pedestrians and roadway traffic. The answer is option number 4. Yield the right of way to pedestrians and roadway traffic. Note. When entering a roadway from a driveway or private road, you must yield the right of way to pedestrians and traffic on the roadway. Question. You want to turn left at an intersection. The light is green but the oncoming traffic is heavy. You should option number 1. Use the next intersection. Option number 2. Wait at the crosswalk for traffic to clear. Option number 3. Wait in the center of the intersection for traffic to clear. Option number 4. Take the right of way since you have the light. The answer is option number 3. Wait in the center of the intersection for traffic to clear. Note. When making a left turn where there is a approaching traffic, you must wait for the approaching traffic to go through before you turn. You may enter the intersection to prepare for your left turn if the light is green and no other vehicle ahead of you plans to make a left turn. Question. You may cross a single solid white line in the highway. Option 1. Whenever you want to. Option 2. If traffic conditions require you to do so. Option 3. Only to turn into a driveway. Option 4. Only to make a U-turn. The answer is option 2. If traffic conditions require you to do so. Note. You may cross a single solid line to pass other vehicles or change lanes, but only if obstructions on road or in traffic make the lane change necessary. Question. If traffic prevents you from crossing all the way across a set of railroad tracks, you may proceed only when option 1. An approaching train is not moving fast enough to be a danger. Option 2. There is room for your entire vehicle on the other side. Option 3. At least one half of your vehicle can cross the tracks. Option 4. No trains are in sight. The answer is option number 2. There is room for an entire vehicle on the other side. Note: you must not, under any circumstances, attempt to cross railroad tracks unless you are certain that your entire vehicle will clear all of the tracks. If other traffic prevents you from going full across, wait and cross only when there is room. Question: in which situation is passing always forbidden? Option number 1. The vehicle ahead is making a left turn. Option number 2. You are on a one-way street which has two lanes. Option number 3. The vehicle ahead is stopped for pedestrian in crosswalk. Option number 4. The vehicle ahead is going to park parallel to the curb. The answer is option number 3. The vehicle ahead is stopped for a pedestrian in a crosswalk. Note: you must never pass a vehicle that has stopped at a crosswalk to allow a pedestrian to go across. Question: what are the colors of the warning signs that indicates hazards ahead, such as curves in the road or narrow bridges? Option number 1. Black letters or symbols on a white background. Option number 2. Black letters or symbols on a yellow background. Option number 3. White letters or symbols on a blue background. Option number 4. White letters or symbols on a green background. The answer is option number 2. Black letters or symbols on a yellow background. Note: warning signs that indicate approaching hazards are usually yellow with black lettering or symbols. Warning signs in work zones are orange with black lettering or symbols. Question: you come to an intersection which is blocked by other traffic. You should. Option number 1. Go slowly until the traffic ahead moves. Option number 2. Get as close as possible to the car in front of you. Option number 3. Stay out of the intersection until you can pass through. Option number 4. Sound your horn to make the cars move up. The answer is option number 3. Stay out of the intersection until you can pass through. Note: you cannot enter an intersection if traffic is backed up on the other side and you cannot get completely through the intersection. Wait until traffic ahead clears so you do not block the intersection. Question: you are waiting in the intersection to complete a left turn. You should. Option number 1. Signal and keep your wheels turned to the left. Option number 2. Signal and keep your wheels straight. Option number 3. Flash your headlights so drivers will let you through. Option number 4. Drive around the rear of a car if it blocks you. The answer is option number 2. Signal and keep your wheels straight. Note: you must always signal before turning or changing lanes. You should keep your wheels straight while waiting to make a left turn. If another vehicle hits you from behind, this ensures that you will not be pushed into oncoming traffic. Question: which of the following must you obey over the other three? Red light, flashing red light, stop sign, and police officer. Option number 1. A steady red light. Option number 2. A police officer. Option number 3. A stop sign. Option number 4. A flashing red light. The answer is option number 2. A police officer. Note: directions given by traffic officers take precedence over signs, signals, and pavement markings. People authorized to direct traffic include police officers, fire police, highway work area flag persons, and school crossing persons. Question: what is used on some highways to direct drivers into the proper lanes for turning? Option number 1. Flashing red lights. Option number 2. Flashing yellow lights. Option number 3. White lines on the side of the road. Option number 4. White arrows in the middle of the lanes. The answer is option number 4. White arrows in the middle of the lanes. Note: arrows may be used to indicate which lanes should be used for specific purposes, such as driving straight or making a turn. Question: you may drive around or under a gate that is being lowered or raised at a railroad crossing. Option number 1. As long as an approaching train is not too close. Option number 2. if a vehicle can do so without damaging the gate. Option 3, if you first look carefully in both directions. Option number 4, under no circumstances. The answer is option number 4, under no circumstances. Note: flashing red lights, lowered crossing gates, and or bells at a railroad crossing mean that you must come to a complete stop. You must not go across the tracks until the lights and bells have stopped and the crossing gates are completely up. Do not drive around or under a gate that is moving up or down. Question: a no standing sign at a certain location means. Option number 1, you may never stop your vehicle there. Option number 2, you may park there if the driver remains in the vehicle. Option number 3, you may stop temporarily only to pick up or discharge passengers. Option number 4, you may stop to load or unload merchandise. The answer is option number 3, you may stop temporarily only to pick up or discharge passengers. Note: a no standing sign means that you may only make a temporary stop to load or discharge passengers. Question: if you are parked parallel to the curb, you may get out of the car on the traffic side. Option number 1, during the daytime when other drivers can see you. Option number 2, when the traffic light at the closest intersection turns red. Option number 3, when you won't interfere with oncoming vehicles. Option number 4, if you use your four-way flashers first. The answer is option number 3, when you won't interfere with oncoming vehicles. Note: after parallel parking, you must not open your door if it will interfere with bicyclists or other traffic. Check for traffic before exiting your vehicle. Question: what kind of drugs other than alcohol can affect your driving ability? Option number 1, an allergy medicine. Option number 2, marijuana. Option number 3, a cold remedy. Option number 4, all of these choices. The answer is option number 4, all of these choices. Note: it can be a criminal offense to drive while impaired by combined effect of drugs or alcohol and drugs, illegal drugs such as marijuana, cocaine, LSD, heroin, and opium, and by some prescription drugs such as tranquilizers. Question: what happens to your driver's license if you refuse to take a chemical test, breath or blood? Option number 1, there is no evidence to find you guilty of drunk driving. Option number 2, you cannot be arrested for drunk driving. Option number 3, your license will be taken away. Option number 4, none of these choices. The answer is option number 3, your license will be taken away. Note: New York has an implied consent law, which means that by driving in the state, you have given your consent to a chemical test if you are arrested for an alcohol or drug related violation. If you refuse to take the test, your license will be suspended. If a DMV hearing letter confirms that you refuse the test, your driver license will be revoked, even if you are found not guilty of the original charge. Question: what influences the effects of alcohol? Option number 1, the amount of food in the stomach. Option number 2, the body weight of an individual. Option number 3, how much time passes between drinks. Option number 4, all three choices. The answer is option number 4, all three choices. Note: the blood alcohol content BAC depends on how much alcohol you drink, how much time passes between drinks, and your weight. Eating before or while you drink helps slow absorption of alcohol somewhat, but it cannot prevent intoxication or impairment if you have too much to drink. Question: what is a breathalyzer? The breathalyzer is a test of a person's BAC, blood alcohol content. Question: expressways have expressway entrance lanes, acceleration lanes so that drivers can. Option number 1, test their brakes before driving at an expressway speed. Option number 2, stop at the end to wait for a traffic opening. Option number 3, reach the proper speed before blending with traffic. Option number 4, test the pickup of their cars. The answer is option number 3, Reach the proper speed before blending with traffic. Note: unless there is a stop or else sign or traffic light on the entrance ramp, use the ramp to accelerate to expressway speed and blend with traffic. Signal, then look over your shoulder for approaching traffic already on the expressway. Question: when a right wheels run onto a soft shoulder, what is the best way to get back on the highway? Option number 1. Apply the brakes firmly and steer gently to the left. Option number 2. Ease your foot off the gas and brake gently. Option number 3. Steer hard to the left and then gently to the right. Option number 4. Apply the brakes firmly and stop completely. The answer is option number 2. Ease your foot off the gas and brake gently. Note: if your wheels drift off the pavement onto the road shoulder, do not yank the steering wheel back. Ease your foot off the gas pedal and brake gently. When it has slowed down, check for traffic behind you, then steer gently back onto the pavement. Question: on a road which has no sidewalks, a pedestrian should walk on the option number 1. Side of the road which has the lightest traffic. Option number 2. Same side of the road on which traffic is moving. Option number 3. Side of the road facing oncoming traffic. Option number 4. Side of the road which has the heaviest traffic. The answer is option number 3. Side of the road facing oncoming traffic. Note: pedestrians should walk on the side of the road facing the traffic in the lane nearest them. Question: when attempting to stop on a slippery road, the best action to take is to option number 1. Apply the brakes quickly and firmly. Option number 2. Apply the brakes in slow, steady strokes. Option number 3. Shift to a lower gear, do not use the brakes. Option number 4. Shift into neutral, do not use the brakes. The answer is option number 2. Apply the brakes in slow, steady strokes. Note: to avoid skids on snow and ice, brake early, carefully and gently. Squeeze your brakes in slow, steady strokes. Allow the wheels to keep rolling. If they begin to lock up, ease off the brake pedal. Question: in general, you should pass vehicles going in the same direction as you are going. Option number 1. On their right. Option number 2. On their left. Option number 3. Only if the other driver signals that it is safe. Option number 4. Whenever you have the opportunity to do so. The answer is option number 2. On their left. Note: in general, the left lane is used for passing. Only pass when it is safe and legal to do so. Question: a motorist approaching a bicyclist should option number 1. Speed up to pass them. Option number 2. Proceed as usual. Option number 3. Swerve into the opposite lane. Option number 4. Exercise extreme caution. The answer is option number 4. Exercise extreme caution. Note: drivers should reduce their speed as they pass bicyclists, as air movement from a passing vehicle can easily affect a bicyclist's balance. Question: what are the consequences that can result from driving under the influence of alcohol or other drugs? Option number 1. Possible imprisonment. Option number 2. A mandatory fine. Option number 3. Driver license revocation. Option number 4. All of these. The answer is option number 4. All of these. Question: a no stopping sign means that unless directed to do so by a policeman, you may stop only. Option number 1. Long enough to unload packages. Option number 2. To avoid conflict with other traffic. Option number 3. To discharge passengers. Option number 4. For less than 5 minutes. The answer is option number 2. To avoid conflict with other traffic. Note: a no stopping sign means you can only stop to obey a traffic signal, to obey a police officer, or to prevent a conflict with another vehicle. Question: what does a flashing yellow light mean? Option number 1. Stop and look for other vehicles, then go if there is no traffic. Option number 2. Stop and wait for a green light. Option number 3. Speed up to clear the intersection quickly. Option number 4. Slow down and proceed with caution. The answer is option number 4. Slow down and proceed with caution. Note: a flashing yellow traffic light means drivers should slow down and proceed with caution. Question: what are the colors of a sign which tells you the distance to the next exit of a highway? Option number 1. Yellow with black letters. Option number 2. Black with white letters. Option number 3. Red with white letters. Option number 4. Green with white letters. The answer is option number 4. Green with white letters. Note: signs providing information about destinations are green with white letters or symbols.